War is a word that has echoed through the annals of human history, leaving its indelible mark on civilizations, cultures, and countless lives. But amidst the chaos, destruction, and suffering, have you ever wondered, what is the true purpose of war? Is it merely a clash of arms and ideologies, or does it serve a deeper, more complex role in our world? Today, we embark on a journey through time and human nature to unravel the enigma of war's purpose. Join us as we delve into the shadows of conflict, seeking answers that challenge our perceptions and ultimately discover the one true purpose of war. To truly understand this concept, we must journey back to the dawn of civilization. In this time period existed a world where tribes fought over fertile lands, where brute strength was often the deciding factor between survival and death, and where conquest was seen as a means to ensure survival. Wars were waged to protect territories, secure resources, and assert dominance. In ancient Mesopotamia, the city of Ur battled its neighbors for control of the Tigris and Euphrates river valleys, where the very lifeblood of their communities flowed. Winning this war meant access to fertile land for agriculture, enabling a stable food supply. It also facilitated trade, ensuring economic prosperity, and offered strategic advantages for defense, enhancing security. As centuries passed, empires rose and fell, and the purposes of war shifted. The mighty Roman Empire expanded through relentless conquest, driven by a desire for wealth and power. The famous Carthaginian general Hannibal, with his war elephants, crossed the Alps to challenge Rome's supremacy. These ancient wars were often about dominance and control, the very essence of empire building. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and we find ourselves in a world where knights in shining armor fought for honor, and kingdoms waged holy wars in the name of religion. The Crusades, for instance, were a series of religious conflicts that spanned centuries, where European knights embarked on perilous journeys to reclaim the Holy Land from Muslim forces. Here, the purpose of war was intertwined with faith, as religious zeal fueled the quest for control over sacred sites. In more recent history, consider the two world wars of the 20th century. World War I, with its trenches and chemical warfare, was fueled by complex alliances and territorial disputes, leading to a devastating loss of life. World War II, marked by the horrors of the Holocaust and the dropping of atomic bombs, had the purpose of ending tyranny and securing a lasting peace, at least in the eyes of the Allies. These historical examples paint a picture of how the purpose of war has evolved over time, from survival and dominance to religion and ideology, and finally to the pursuit of peace and justice. But the story doesn't end here. Today, the world faces new challenges and new conflicts, and understanding the purpose of war remains as relevant as ever. As our world continued to evolve, so did the reasons behind wars. Enter the realm of politics and geopolitics. Imagine a global chessboard where nations strategize, make alliances, and sometimes clash in pursuit of their interests. One striking example is the Napoleonic Wars of the early 19th century. Napoleon Bonaparte, a brilliant military leader, sought to expand his French Empire across Europe. He did so by strategizing key alliances throughout Europe, such as the creation of the Confederation of the Rhine, which included several German states. He also formed the Kingdom of Italy and forged alliances with various European powers through a series of treaties and marriages, such as the Treaty of Tilsit with Russia and the marriage alliance with Austria. Nevertheless, these wars were solely driven by Napoleon's political ambition to establish dominance, and they shook the continent as many of his alliances eventually broke due to Napoleon's expansionist ambitions and military campaigns, leading to conflicts with many of his allies. Similarly, World War I was a tangled web of political alliances. A single event, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, triggered a cascade of declarations of war due to complex treaties and power dynamics. It wasn't just about defending one's borders. It was about honoring alliances and safeguarding political interests. Aside from political dominance, wars have often been fought over economic gain. In the modern age, we live in a world where nations jostle for control of valuable commodities like oil, gold, or fertile land. In the 19th century, the scramble for Africa illustrates this perfectly. European powers raced to claim African territories rich in resources. The purpose here was economic, to secure raw materials for industrialization and create new markets for manufactured goods in foreign lands. And then there's the Opium Wars between Britain and China. Britain wanted to keep trading opium in China to fill its coffers, while China sought to curb this trade. This conflict was primarily about economic interests, as the profits from the opium trade were astronomical. By the early 1830s, British opium exports to China were estimated to be worth around £2 million to £3 million per year. This was a significant sum at the time and represented a substantial portion of British trade revenue with China. But war is not always forged over politics or money. Oftentimes, it is beliefs and ideologies that drive nations to war. History is filled with examples of wars sparked by differing worldviews. The Crusades, as mentioned earlier, were fueled by religious fervor. Knights from across Europe believed they were on a divine mission to reclaim the Holy Land. Here, the purpose of war was deeply intertwined with religion. And in later years, during the 20th century, the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union wasn't fought with guns and tanks, but was still a battle of ideologies. Capitalism versus communism. Both superpowers wanted their ideology to prevail, and this ideological struggle played out on multiple fronts, from proxy wars to the space race. These stories show that wars have been shaped by a complex interplay of political, economic, and ideological forces. But as our world continues to change, so do the purposes of war, and oftentimes we find that all these causes have one common goal, a driving force that inspires conflict. And that one goal is the relentless pursuit of influence. This is the tapestry where threads of power, wealth, faith, and ideology all converge on a single point: influence. Throughout history, nations and individuals have sought to expand their influence, and this quest has often been the driving force behind war. Whether it's a tribe defending its territory, an empire striving for dominance, or a kingdom fighting for religious beliefs, the underlying goal is to exert control and sway over others. Take the Roman Empire, for instance. Its legions marched across continents, not just to conquer, but to establish Roman law, culture, and governance. Influence over conquered territories was a paramount goal, ensuring stability and allegiance. Similarly, in the modern era, the Cold War was a global chess game where the United States and the Soviet Union vied for influence over other nations. They provided economic aid, military support, and ideological backing to win allies, all with the aim of expanding their spheres of influence. Even in economic wars, like the scramble for Africa or the Opium Wars, the ultimate objective was to control resources and markets, thereby wielding economic influence on a global scale. The Crusades, driven by religious fervor, were about spreading a particular faith and establishing influence over holy sites and the people who revered them. These examples highlight the profound human desire for influence, which can manifest in various forms, be it territorial, economic, political, or ideological. As we continue to explore the purpose of war, keep in mind this unifying theme of influence, for it's a key to deciphering the complex tapestry of human conflict. And if you enjoy this exploration of our human history, you'll definitely enjoy our other videos. So click on one of these to indulge in more thought-provoking content. And don't forget to like and subscribe to us here on Imaginable, as it really helps our growth. Until next time.